there, and welcome to Insomnia Insight number 380, which I believe is a foundational one, really helpful one. It's been a while since I've had an insight or something really new to teach. This is something fresh here, so I hope it will be really helpful to you. So we're going to talk about medications and how you can use the effect within the medication without taking a tablet or anything else. It sounds like magic. It kind of is. It kind of is magic we're going to talk about today. The reason I think this is so important is that medications are such a common topic on this channel. There's still some stigma around it. There's a lot of conflict. Often you don't want to take it. You don't want to be dependent on something. You kind of are criticizing yourself for taking it. There's a lot of frustration and kind of friction that comes from it. And there's also this frustration from, like, sometimes it works, sometimes it does work, but sometimes it stops working, and you know, the confusion, all that is really makes sleep very difficult. So I think this is why this episode is so important. So let's start at the very beginning, which is the first principle. What's the most foundational truth when it comes to sleep? Well, it is that the harder you try, the harder it gets. The harder you try to sleep, the harder sleep becomes, the more difficult it becomes, the more struggle you have. So what does this have to do with sleep medications? Well, it has a lot to do with them, because check this out. The moment when you take a sleeping pill and you think this will take care of sleep for me, there's that relief, then there is no more wondering, pondering, researching, experimentation. All that is gone simply because you thought this pill will just take care of everything for me. You just, in that moment, that second, you just abandoned all the trying. You just abandoned all the efforts, and that is when sleep happens, okay? So it was the act of delegation, the act of delegating the work. That is what allows sleep to happen when you take a sleeping pill. So you see, just like that, with the simple thought, you are not trying and sleep happens. And chemicals, the chemicals inside the pill, they didn't create sleep. You did. You created it. It's always like that. All sleep is natural. Your body produced it. And the absence of effort that happened when you took that pill allowed sleep to happen. All right. So this is the magic of delegation. And that is what allows sleep to happen when you take a sleeping pill. So, once you see this, and this can be new to you, so definitely take a little second to kind of like reflect upon this. And we'll talk in a second about, how, this, you can see that this is probably true, right? So how can you benefit from this? How can you benefit from the magic of delegation? Well, the first one is really to truly understand delegation. Like we already talked about it here, but if you think about it, it explains everything really. When someone says, this pill works for me, but this one doesn't, but another person says the complete opposite, it's kind of confusing. But when you understand that it is the act of delegation that allows sleep to happen and not the chemicals, then it suddenly makes sense. If one person truly believes that this pill will help, they take it and then they abandon all efforts. They're not trying at all anymore. That person will sleep. Versus the person who takes the same pill but thinks kind of like, I don't even know if this is going to work. This is probably not going to do anything. And then sleep doesn't happen because there is no delegation. That person is still trying to sleep. It also explains why some things seem to, it worked in the beginning, then it stopped working. It works sometimes, but not other times. It all depends on whether you are delegating or you're actually still trying, So that's really important to kind of really let this sink in and fully understand delegation. Number 2 here, out of 3, by the way, is see through the mystery. And I'm not talking about like delegation here only, but the entire mystery of insomnia. So this is basically another way of saying education. If this is kind of like the first video you see in this channel, and you're like, this is it, I'm going to delegate sleep. You may not be ready yet because there's a lot that you haven't understood. But when you spend some time on this channel and you educate yourself and you see that there is no mystery, there's no mystery when it comes to why you've had trouble sleeping, then you have this foundation, then there's, you're on really solid ground. And then you can take that third step, which is be willing to experience whatever comes to you. And here's the thing, I talked a lot about I use the word delegation a lot here in this video. And when you think about it, when you take a sleeping pill and you delegate sleep, you're not trying to sleep anymore. Another way of expressing what you're doing is that you are actually becoming more willing to be awake at night or not be awake, or you're just like, you're actually willing to experience whatever happens. Because if you took that sleeping pill and you're still like, but I gotta sleep, I have to sleep, I gotta sleep, this has to work, then you're not gonna sleep, then you're actually not delegating. So when you're delegating, another way of saying delegation is that you are becoming willing to experience whatever comes your way. And that is it. So when you understand delegation, and when you see there's no mystery, you've seen through all the mystery, and at night you're willing to experience whatever comes your way. If you happen to be awake quite a bit or you're not, both are okay to you, then you have completely delegated. Not only have you taken delegation away from the association with the pill, but you're kind of completely delegating sleep to yourself, to the mind, to the brain, to the body. Then magic will happen, and you will see that that magic comes from nowhere, really, like a rabbit in the hat. When there's no more effort, sleep will happen, peace of mind will happen, and you'll do really, really well for the rest of your life. So I hope this helped. I hope this was really helpful to you. And thanks, by the way, for all the support. And if you have a question, then head over to thesleepcoachschool.com and post it in the banner, or click the banner up top. And you can always leave comments, and you can also find ways to work with myself if you'd like to do so. With that said, I want to wish you a nice rest of your day and hope to have you back real soon.